Generally speaking, taxes are intended to enable the beneficial running of society. This is how we're going to get our roads. We pay our police, we pay KDF, we pay all those things. So depending on one's priorities, tax revenue is not always put to the best use. The most frequent objection to paying taxes is that the money is being misused by government or even used for evil purposes by the government. That, however, should be our concern, but that should not stop us from paying the taxes. Who should file a tax return? Every person with a KRA PIN is required to file a tax return. This is a personal obligation as a citizen who has been registered as a taxpayer. As long as you have a KRA PIN, whether you took it as a student and you are not even employed, you have the responsibility to pay your tax. So why are we filing the tax returns? One, because it's a requirement of the law. And this is very well stipulated in the Income Tax Act, and it is very clear how we file and what should we file. Now, it also gives us a chance for self-assessment so that we can be able to know if KRA owes us money. How do we know they owe us money if we are not doing an assessment? And on the other side, it actually also enables us to know how much do we owe them. Either they owe us or we owe them. We might have overpaid our taxes or we might have underpaid our taxes. And this filing system also enables the authorities to identify who is not paying taxes. I think it's fair that we all pay our share, because we all share the roads, we share the hospitals, we get the same protection from the police, from KDF and everybody. So everybody needs to make a contribution. And the way the tax generally works, the more you have, the more you pay. The less you have, the less you pay. But sometimes people ask, what is this income tax return? Now, this is just a declaration made by a person to show all the income you have earned from all sources of your income during the tax period. And this tax period is usually 1 year. And then you do your self-assessment of the tax you have paid during that year out of this income. And in this case, you file so that then they can see this is all the income that you earned and this is all the taxes that you have paid. And here, when you say taxes you paid, we're looking at direct tax, not indirect tax. Now, we pay a lot of indirect taxes. You pay tax in fuel levy. You pay taxes in VAT. These are indirect taxes. But when you're looking at direct taxes, it is pay as you earn, it is withholding tax, it is advance tax. And this means then, if we have to file our tax returns, then it is critical that we have a record of the income we have earned. And it's not difficult depending on how you keep your books. If you are an employee, I think your pay slips are very good evidence of the income that you have made. If you are a business person, your bank statements and your M-Pesa statements will show all the incomes you have. We also need to keep records of the taxes. When you pay a tax, when you pay a withholding tax somewhere, this is why we have to keep making sure we get those VAT receipts when we pay VAT anywhere, because we are going to be able to have them at this season when we are filing the tax returns. And you're declaring that this is all the income I have earned from all the sources that I have, whether I have a salary, I have rental income, I have a business, I have a side hustle. And you're actually saying, depending on your tax category, these are also the expenses. This is the money I have actually spent to make that income. And these are the taxes that I've been able to do. So that return is your declaration. People ask, what do I need to have before filing my tax returns? Let's start with the person who is an employee. If you're an employee and all your income is coming from employment, then you ask your employer to give you something called a P9 form. It's a document that contains a summary of all the tax deductions your employer has made and remitted for you in the year. They say every month this was your income, this is the tax we deducted. So you have a complete record of all the income that you got and all the taxes that were remitted for you. So that's one document. The next thing you did, if you have an insurance policy or you're contributing to NHIF, then you will have a certificate from the insurance company because you have a tax rebate there that you need to enjoy or you will have enjoyed and you need to show why you're enjoying that rebate. What we are saying is for the amount of money you are paying towards your insurance, 15% of that, subject to a maximum of 5,000 shillings a month, was not taxed. And that's what that certificate is showing. If you have a mortgage and you're paying that mortgage, you want to either claim a tax relief on the mortgage interest, that is why you're going to have that certificate, because the government wants you to own a house and they have allowed, when you're paying your interest on the mortgage, for the first 25,000 shillings you pay on the interest, you do not have to pay tax on that amount. So that's what the purpose of the certificate. Other item is if you have any tax exemption certificate. You might be a person living with disability, so you have a tax exemption. So those are generally the documents you need: your P9, your insurance premium certificate, your mortgage certificate, and your tax exemption certificate. Those are the documents you need, and you'll be able to file your tax returns. KRA has a system, I think it's called iTax, and you can actually be able to get it on the net. You can do it on your computer, you can do it on your laptop, you can do it on your smartphone. If your income is not from employment only, you might be having income from other sources, and other sources could be business, could be farming, could be rentals, could be side hustle. Then you need to have sort of a book of accounts. And this is going to include an income statement that shows all the revenue you have generated with the year. You'll have a balance sheet that shows you what is the assets you have and what is the liabilities that you have. And you have copies of withholding certificates if you have paid any withholding tax, and also a record of any advance tax you might have paid, including those people who pay installment tax, like people in public transport, they pay installment tax. And this is where sometimes it is necessary for you to learn what are the documents I require so that you keep them in good time. Now, if you're in a commission environment, you've been selling and earning commission, then you have a W44 certificate. And a W44 certificate is a tax certificate that's going to show all the withholding taxes that you paid for the year. And so you're going to have a summary of all that, and you can actually be able to show what was your income from which the withholding tax were deducted. And then you can use the withholding tax as a credit of the tax that is payable. And you can see it's not a difficult process. And if you feel like it's getting difficult, let me make it easier. You have experts to help you out in this. The accountant or the auditor. Even if you don't have an income, you file a nil return. If you want to make filing tax returns next year easier, we start planning early. And you need to give yourself a chance by exploring the offerings at the Personal Finance Academy, where you're going to get understanding taxation. You can come for a free come and see lesson. Just drop a note, come and see. So 0708-150-137. 0708-150-137.